This is Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates.
Today, we highlight Rivalry Weekend. We get you those results, and we introduce the field of 6 playoff teams. All that and more next.
Weather.
Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates. Welcome to our final regular season recap. That's right. All rivalries have concluded, and that means our playoff field of 6 has been set. So let's find out what went down last week and get you that playoff bracket. And we'll waste no time. We'll jump right in to the Founders Classic. The Bowling Green Cave Shrimp taking on the Rocky River Rough Riders. Can the Cave Shrimp get over the hump? This was a game that was crucial for seeding. This was going to be, both teams were already in the playoffs, but, bragging rights on the line, as well as the fact that, for the Cave Shrimp, they haven't beaten the Rocky River Rough Riders only once in a couple meetings. And did that trend continue? Yes, it did. A closer matchup than it looks, 189 to 165. The Rocky River Rough Riders defeated the Bowling Green Cave Shrimp. So a big win for the Rough Riders. For the Cave Shrimp, this is just becoming very upsetting because Josh Allen did it again. 51 fantasy points, a new quarterback record in fantasy football. That is pretty much the epitome of why the Rocky River Rough Riders won this one. They did get 24 from Rashad White, 24 from Isaac Guerrendo, 17 from Jerry Jeudy, but everybody else just kind of played serviceable. No big misses off the bench. The Cave Shrimp did get really good performances. I mean, Josh Jacobs, 24, 19 Tyrone Tracy, 18 Garrett Wilson, 22 from Brock Purdy. Deebo Samuel has decided to regress to a terrible wide receiver. I've been hearing rumors he will be benched for the playoffs. Khalil Shakir, though, stepped up big, 21 fantasy points. Big miss off the bench, 13 from Jamison Williams. Other than that, though, a tough loss for the Cave Shrimp, and Josh Allen is officially on my hate list. He will join Daniel Jones because I am sick of Josh Allen ruining this rivalry for me. That is now the second time this year Josh Allen has completed the comeback for the Rocky River Rough Riders. Moving on, because Cave Shrimp don't want to talk about that one anymore, we have the Bingo Boys Classic Bandicoots Groundhogged. Bandicoots win and you're in, lose and we go to a tiebreaker. That is head-to-head battles. But the Bandicoots don't have to worry about it. A 171 to 141 big-time victory for the Brisbane Bay Bandicoots over the Grand Rapids Groundhogs. It's good to see that offense return for the Bandicoots, especially as they get ready for the playoffs. You look at the numbers, they get 20 and 23 from their running back tandem of Bijan and Kyron. Kyler Murray adds 17, 45 from Jamar Chase, 19 from JSN. Pretty good week all the way around. Big miss off the bench, though. Devontae Adams with 25 and Adam Thielen, 19. And then on the other side, the Grand Rapids Groundhogs, they did get 34 from Sam Darnold. They got 15 from Jameis Winston, 20 from Cooper Kupp. But their running back, James Cook, only 5. And Marvin Harrison Jr., only 8.9. Travis Kelce, again, only 9. And Jonnu Smith didn't get on the board till overtime, but he still managed 13 fantasy points. Big miss off the bench, Darnell Mooney with 20 fantasy points. So a tough loss for the Groundhogs. They'll head to the losers bracket. The Bandicoots clinch a playoff spot. So we move on to our next matchup, the Ice Bowl. Empire Strikes Back, Bay City Bunnies. A really fun one here, but the B team for the Bunnies, was it enough to hold up? It was not. 161 to 104. The Empire Strikes Back. What a last stretch for them. They really turn things around. They get a big time victory over the Bay City Bunnies, who were 1-4 in their last 4 after starting 6-3. So they'll finish 7-7 and be kind of along that line of, did they make in the playoffs? Did they not? Well, the Empire, they do fall short, but an impressive end. They should be pretty safe in the losers bracket if they keep up on their trend, because they got 22 from Jared Goff, 19 from Baker. They got 32 from Jay Jettis and 41 from Puka, and Brian Thomas Jr. chipped in 16. They did get -4 from the Cardinals team, though, and Roma Dunze, a big miss off the bench with 20 fantasy points. For the Bunnies, I mean, Matt Stafford with 20 was nice, and Aaron Jones with 16. They didn't get much help otherwise. Jaden Reed got a fat donut, 0. Everybody else was just very mid or terrible. Big miss off the bench. Quentin Johnston with 15 fantasy points, but a tough loss for the Bunnies. They become 7-7, and now they're one of those teams on the bubble. So let's find out what the other 2 teams that could have been on the bubble did. And we move on to the battle between the Michigan Avengers and the Guantanamo Bay Flying Squirrels. It was a fun matchup last time. Took the bench points tiebreaker to decide this one. This time it didn't need it, as the Flying Squirrels upset the Michigan Avengers 167-103. An absolute domination to end the regular season for the Flying Squirrels. Very impressive from them. For the Avengers, they fall to 7-7 and join the Bunnies there on the line. But for the Flying Squirrels, I mean, just a big game from anybody. James Conner, 22. Chase Brown, 24. 39 from Jordan Addison. They did get some disappointing performances from Xavier Worthy and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but a big miss off the bench. Caleb Williams with 14. Braylon Allen with 12. On the other side for the Avengers, well, Jahmyr Gibbs had 19. Aaron Rodgers added 17. Mahomes continued to be mid. 0 from Cole Kmet, and everybody else was pretty poor, if you ask me. Big miss off the bench. 38 for Zach Charbonnet, just sitting on the bench. That would have went a long way. And 20 from Jalen Waddle also would have assisted. Breece Hall is a little injured, so the Avengers will need him come playoff time. But once again, they're 7-7. Did they sneak in? We move forward to our final matchup. The Battle of Zarvis, as the Iguanas and the Zestmeisters battled it out in a close one. Zestmeisters needing the win for a chance to go into the playoffs, and they got it. They squeaked it out. A 133-132 victory for the Zestmeisters as they join the 7-7 club for one team to miss out. The Iguanas will lose out on the 1 seed with the loss, but nonetheless, I mean, the Iguanas, a little bit of a low-scoring performance for their standard, especially heading into the playoffs. But they did get good performances again from their quarterbacks, 24 apiece for Burrow and Hurts, 19 for David Montgomery, and 21 from CeeDee Lamb. I think what really did him in was the 4.3 from T. Higgins. And then you really look at Brock Bowers, had a disappointing game with only 8. Bucky Irving only added 2. Big miss off the bench. 15 from Rico Dowdle, 28 from Tyreek Hill, who's been benched now for 2 weeks where he's gone for 20 plus, and then 2 on the bench, another 23 fantasy points for him. On the other side, though, the Zestmeisters, Cooper Rush did just enough to fend him off. 13 fantasy points for him, 20 for Chuba Hubbard, 21 for George Kittle, and 28 for Juwan Jennings led the way. Big Mitch off the bench. David Njoku with 17. The Zestmeisters 7-7. So we've gone through it. Zestmeisters get a win. Flying Squirrels get an upset win. Empire upsetting win. Bandicoots and Rocky River Rough Riders all get major wins. So what does the playoff bracket look like? Well, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. The 10 seed come the playoff time was the Flying Squirrels. The Groundhogs wrap up number 9. And then the 7 seed, well, we'll start with the 8 seed was the Empire Strikes Back, which means the 7 seed would either be the Zestmeisters, Avengers, or Bay City Bunnies. Now, we did do a head-to-head tiebreaker, so it was going to be interesting. So let's flip to the front side. With the win, the Rocky River Rough Riders did lock up the 1 seed in the playoffs. They'll earn a bye. And on the other side, due to divisionality, the Bowling Green Cave Shrimp earned themselves a bye for winning their division. So those two teams will work on their bye week. The Iguanas will play the 3 seed, and the Bandicoots will play the 4 seed. So really some top scoring 3 and 4 seeds there. And you look at it, one of the lowest scoring teams in the league, and my 10 team in the preseason polls, the Rocky River Rough Riders, now own the first pick or the first overall team and the first round bye. So kind of shocking there, but the playoffs shaped up in a shocking format where we believe they went to the total head-to-head between the Avengers, Zestmeisters, and Bunnies, which left out the Zestmeisters from the playoffs. A shocking output. We all thought it would go to points 4. The Zestmeisters would get in. The Avengers, the reigning champs, would miss out, but it did not. The Zestmeisters will miss out and be the 7 seed. A heartbreaking loss for them to miss the playoffs. Well, the Bunnies slide in as the 6 seed. They'll take on the Iguanas in the first round. Winner will place the Cave Shrimp. And then on the other side, the Bandicoots will face the Michigan Avengers. Winner will play the Rocky River Rough Riders. So because we believe they went head-to-head between the 3, the Avengers were 3-1 between those 3 teams. The Bunnies were 2-2, and the Zestmeisters were 1-3. So they missed out on the playoffs and still have not been able to get in since we've expanded to 10 teams. A sad loss there for the league favorite Zestmeisters, but the Michigan Avengers and Bunnies make it in, and they'll have some crucial matchups. Looking quick here at the power rankings, you guys can kind of see where my preseason polls have gone wrong. I've technically gotten the Zestmeisters spot on, but definitely have missed out on the Empire Strikes Back, and big miss there on the Rocky River Rough Riders, and even the Bay City Bunnies making it into the playoffs. So you guys can take a look and pause the video there for a little bit more look at the power rankings from where I've ranked teams. So the number up or down refers to where I rank them in the preseason compared to where they are at the end of the regular season. Now, moving forward, we got a chance to talk to one of the playoff teams, rather the last team into the playoffs, the Bay City Bunnies, who just squeaked by. So let's sit down and see what they had to say about this monumental moment for them sneaking into the playoffs and their matchup against the Iguanas.
Thank you to the Nathan Fantasy Football League Updates for having me on. I'm Jacob. I'm the manager of the Bay City Bunnies. What questions do you got?
Coach, not the results you wanted last week with a loss, but you still managed your way into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously loss isn't what we wanted, but we had the B team in last week, had a lot of guys out, and we lost to the Empire. Empire is a solid team, even though they did miss the playoffs. So it's tough to get a loss, but we made the playoffs, and we're ready to make a run. You know, we started off strong this season, had a 6-3 start. Fortunately, we finished the season 1-4, but last time one of my teams went 7-7 and we squeezed into the playoffs. We won it all, so I got big hopes for this team.
Preseason, you guys were projected 9, but how did you use that to motivate the team?
Yeah, being projected 9th preseason was tough. We had a lot of doubters, and I think we've proved by making the playoffs that we're a lot better than the 9th projected team in the league. And we got a lot of good players, and I'm excited to see how these playoffs unfold.
Derrick Henry has been the offense this year for you. How crucial has he been?
Yeah, Derrick Henry's been amazing. He had a lot of washed allegations at the beginning of the year. I think he's proven those wrong. He's been huge. Big veteran piece of this team. And a lot of the guys look up to him as kind of the leader on this offense. And so we'll definitely be looking to him in the playoffs. Hopefully he can lead our team in a victory over Travis in this first round. And, yeah.
Do you regret taking C.J. Stroud as the first QB off the board?
You know, I don't really want to get into regrets. I just look towards the future. C.J. Stroud is our guy. And it is a little tough when you see the performance that Josh Allen put up just this past week. But C.J. is the guy. And that's all I got to say about that.
Final question. You guys get matched up against the top scoring team in the league in the Iguanas. Your thoughts on the matchup and how you guys can pull off this upset this
Travis
week?
is a great team. The Iguanas are a great team. And they've been putting up a lot of points recently. and they're hot. So I know they lost last week, lost the number 1 seed, but they're still a hot team, and it's going to be tough for us. But we're going to buckle down. CJ Stroud's going to come out strong. Stafford, I've liked the way he's been playing these past few weeks, and then just leaning on those guys like Derrick Henry, Terry McLaurin, and then A.J. Brown's going to have a bounce-back week, and he's going to show out. So we're going to bring it to him. We're not going to let the Iguanas roll over us. So let's go!
Yeah, a crucial playoff spot for them. They'll take on the Iguanas, and it should be a fun matchup. You heard them. They're going to fight tough. They're going to rely on the veteran in Derrick Henry in that room, and no regrets of CJ Stroud. He's their guy. Whether we believe that or not, he's their guy, quoted from the Bay City Bunnies. Best of luck to them this week, and best of luck to all of your teams. We'll get you that playoff bracket. Find out what's at stake for these squads tomorrow when we have my prediction video. Until then, gear up, get those lineups set, and let me know in the comments, are the Zestmeisters the biggest snub of the regular season? Should the Bunnies or Avengers rather be out? Let me know in the comments below. And let me know what was the most surprising win in Rivalry Weekend. Until tomorrow, have a good one.